Okay, here is what my plan is. This is the US M3 knife. I found this this type of knife on the internet. I think it was actually used by paratroopers in the United States military in World War II. It has the blade running the length down one side, and then on the top it has the blade only coming halfway. This is the end of the bevel, so it's going to be sharp from here all the way down to here. This is the guard. It has the upward sweep to the guard that's going to be fitted, and then the handle is sort of a K-bar style where it's going to have these channels in it all the way around. I'm going to use the lathe to do that. The butt plate is going to be machined carbon steel. I'm going to lathe it so that the threaded portion is going to come into the handle so that I can get the threads on there, and then it's going to be flush with the bottom right here. Now, the Russian knife is going to be, I think that this is going to be the best knife I've ever done yet. So obviously it's going to have a dagger type blade. I'm going to do a fuller. Now, I've done 2 fullers before. One of them was a disaster. The last one I did, however, was absolutely amazing. I'm going to have to basically use all my skills with the mill to get this to where it is running down the center of the blade and is completely even with the fuller on the other side. I think I can do it. I think I'm going to use a ball-end mill to get that channel started, and then I'm going to use a sanding disc for the Dremel tool to finish it off. The guard is going to be brass. It's going to be 1/4-inch brass plate that's going to look like this when you're looking at it from the top or bottom with the channel for the tang to go through. The handle is going to be red G10 material. It's going to be highly polished, cherry red. The pommel is going to be brass as well. I'm going to use the lathe to get that all shaped out. The handle is going to have a detail that I'm really, really excited to put in there. I came up with an idea to use lapel pins to put in the handle. I will mill a counter bore in there and then drill a hole in the center of the counter bore so that I can fit this lapel pin on each side of the handle, and I think that that is going to be a detail that is going to be just amazing, and I think he's going to be really, really, really happy about it. This is a Soviet lapel pin. I just got it off of Amazon. It's got a single pin that is going to use to anchor it in, and then I'm going to epoxy it into the counter bore. Two pieces of steel that the templates will get drawn onto once I get some blue Dykem on here and trace these out and then cut them out. The guard for the M3 knife is going to come from the same steel that the knife comes from. So I'll save as much room as possible, and then the guard will come from this area right here. And then the Soviet knife will get cut out from this piece of steel. I think I'll have enough room for the tang, since this is the brass piece. It's 1-inch stock that's going to get chucked up in the lathe. I think that'll be long enough to where it'll go up inside the back of the handle, and the end of the tang will be threaded, I think we'll have enough room. The guard for the Soviet knife we'll get from this piece of brass right here, and then obviously the handle for the Soviet knife. The Red Army knife will be coming from this, which I will be chucking up in the lathe. The handle for the M3 knife will be coming from this block of Zapote. These sides should be about even. I'm going to find the center line running along here, and I'm going to scribe it. I will do that on both sides, and then hopefully I can line up the end mill, the ball end mill, and make two perfectly running fullers. Hopefully that'll work out. I'm just going to take my time with this because it's going to be a very stressful process and I don't want to screw it up. I measured down here and I measured up here, and they both appear to be almost exactly the same width. That looks pretty damn center. So I just need to do that on the other side. And now we have a center line along both sides. So now what we need to do is determine where the fuller starts and stops on both sides. All right, so now we have our scribe marks marked in there on both sides. And that's going to give us a level of precision that's just fine for what we're doing. So I actually chucked a drill bit up into this collet here to get a center on where the piece was and where the ball end mill would be in relation to the piece. So I ran it back and forth, over and over again until I got it to where it was tracking straight down the line that I had scribed. And then I locked the vise in, and then I chucked up the ball end mill in the collet. Hopefully that gives me enough precision to where if the ball end mill wanders a little bit, I can clean it up with the Dremel tool. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side so that I get the level of precision that I want. This is the ball end mill I'm going to use. I don't know what size it is, I forgot to check, but I think it's going to be perfect for the fuller that I'm going to do. I also put stops on where I wanted the table to stop on each side, so that on one side it stops at this line, on the other side it stops at that one. Hopefully that'll allow me to stop the fuller exactly where I want to on both sides, and then I can just duplicate the process when I flip the knife over. Well, that went better than even I thought it would. It didn't take me too long to set up. It didn't take me too long to make my passes. They are very nearly identical, but I'm very pleased with what I was able to get done tonight. I'm not going to do any more. I'm going to go to bed because I'm tired and I got a big day tomorrow, but I'm happy with the progress that I've made on this and that I don't have to start over. I'm excited for tomorrow.